You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show where two old guys are just fucking hot as balls in a blanket fort.
Sitting in the heat like the old days, man.
Ooh.
This is suffering for our art.
Yeah, because I'm your weird host, Tyler, and my AC is out.
AC is out. I thought we were doing a radio thing.
That's true. I mean, we're like AC Slater had a radio show.
He did have a radio show. Do you remember that episode?
Oh, fuck. Yep. No.
I made it up.
That is not surprising. He's got to have one at some point.
It was a trap to get you to say yeah, but you saw through the trap. But for all I know, he might have had an episode. I'm going to go and do corrections.
He probably did.
Probably.
I'm sure there was an episode where they all had a radio show.
Each one of them. Separate episodes. Once per season, a character got a radio show where they would record at the Max.
Yep, there you go.
Probably that's where they recorded. And they did like giveaways and stuff
or
there.
Or the school basement where like they went to a hidden part of base and they didn't know it was there. And down there was just like a bunch of radio equipment that everyone forgot about.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we should revive the old school radio station.
The teacher from Stranger Things is there and shows them how to use radio equipment. When I was probably 10 years old, I would have done anything for Kelly Kapowski.
Yeah?
Yeah, like really, I would have done anything. Like, that's like, you know how like the Satanic Panic where like parents were worried about D&D and stuff? What they should have been worried was like if Kelly Kapowski was like, David, kill your parents. And I'll kiss you on the lips. They're like, well, I'm sorry.
Yeah, bye, Mom and Dad.
Right? So, super sorry.
See, I think I was more attracted to Jesse, maybe.
No way,
I don't know.
man.
I was always kind of torn.
Not me. The Kelly Kapowski, all the way, 100% Kelly. Times a million around the world. Yeah, no room, no room for Jesse, no room for Lisa.
But Tori, definitely Tori.
No, well, I mean, Tori's probably a second. She's probably number two.
Tori, what was the Leah Remini's character? What was her fucking name?
I don't remember her on that show.
When they worked at that beach house or that beach resort for the summer.
Where they went to Hawaii or whatever? Was that where they went? I can't remember.
They went somewhere and worked for that resort for the summer. And her dad was the owner.
Yeah, I know.
Zach dated her, yeah.
That's not Tori?
No, Tori was the badass girl.
Okay. You know way more about... I'm not even going to get into this. You know way more to say about the Bell. The last time we got into like TV shit, like we said that... Michael J. Fox was on Growing Pains, which is not right.
It's not.
Master Mold pointed out publicly, instead of like being polite and like, I don't know, addressing one of us privately, just wanted to put us on blast on our Facebook group and say that it was indeed Family Ties.
Yep. And I saw that. I was like, all right, well, fine. But, well, he did recently just give me God of War, so I guess he has to give us enough shit that he can, I guess, publicly call us out on our shame.
I mean, that's fine. I'm just going to do it. I'm just do it on the show. When I saw that pop up on the Facebook group, I was like, all right, I'm going to bring that. You put me on blast, so I'll put you on blast, Bubba. I mean, you're welcome for putting you on blast because you were right. But I want to tell you that all of you listening, you have the benefit of being able to pause the show and looking something up. Although, to be fair, I knew it was Family Ties. Like, in my heart of hearts, I knew that.
Did you like our jokes? We knew it was.
Yeah, we were just tricking you.
Gotcha.
Oh, you.
Now you look stupid.
Oh, you idiots.
Can't believe you fell for that.
Oh, my God.
Get to the Patreon. You should feel so bad. But we're both enjoying a nice, refreshing room. Well, I'm enjoying a room temperature. You've got ice in yours, Fresca.
Yeah, if you hear clinking in a glass, it's my scotch. JK, it's Fresca. 0 calories.
Yep.
Living it up.
No caffeine, no calories.
Now, you told me it's 0. I didn't I trusted you. I didn't look on the can. So if tomorrow I go on the Facebook group and someone like has a photograph of a can of Fresca and it's like 500 calories per serving, 4 servings in a can. It's like, oh my God, this is all the calories I can have today.
It's just basically fat.
Yeah.
Fresca, it's Latin for fat.
Fresca brand lard. Fresca brand lard sounds like the name of a terrorist when you say it really fast.
Fresca brand lard.
Well, that sounds like Andy Bernard's brother, Fresca, or sister, like an upscale stripper. Fresca.
That would, yeah, if I were a stripper, that'd be my name. Fresca. Oh, shit.
Would you be would you like, what kind of stripper would you be?
A sexy one.
Yeah, like would you like specialize in like bachelorette parties, or would you like specialize at a local club, a local establishment? Would it be like a gay strip club, or would it be a strip club?
Well, the only way
women?
You're gonna make money is at a gay strip club, right?
I don't know. I'm sure you would make some money at like a ladies club, but yeah, you're probably gonna make a lot more money at like a gay club.
Yeah.
Are there gay strip clubs? There has to be, right? I mean, if there are, there has to be.
There has to be. I've never seen one. Or
fine, I'll go to one with you. It's fine. I'll
for
go.
science. Fine,
all right,
we'll go.
Fine.
We don't know where their one is, we don't know. But I guess we'll find one for science.
It's fine. We'll do it.
I don't guess you need gay strip clubs because it's just like the hookup culture is very different. So it's just sort of like. Why do strip clubs when you just have a grinder?
Yeah, it's just like, we're holding a gay strip club right now in our hands. It's called a phone.
Yep.
I guess the same thing could be said about, a gentleman's club, except it's less like the interacting.
You can go there and
people.
not be attractive.
You can go where and not be attractive? The internet?
A gentleman's club. Well, the internet too, but you're probably not going to get as many hits. I imagine it's probably easier online than actually like. Well, no, I mean...
Easier online for who? The performer or the audience?
Because if you go to a strip club, more than likely you're going to pay a lot of money to max, like, second base, right? The few strip clubs where you can, like, touch stuff.
Well, I mean, like you just gotta get good at asking.
You got a GM begging, and that's how you get that shit.
I mean, some people say begging, some people say persuasion,
bargaining, persuasion.
There are all kinds of social skills. In Torchbearer, yeah, blackmail would be called the manipulator skill. There's orator, there's manipulator, there's persuasion, all kinds of good stuff.
Okay.
I like how they break down those social skills where it's like not one size fits all.
Yeah, it's not just bluff and diplomacy.
Exactly. Yeah, they throw an extra one in there.
Oh, I didn't really have anything else besides my house is real fucking hot.
Cool. I'm Dave, your bespectacled host, and I feel like we have talked enough about, Saved by the Bell and Family Ties being not growing pains. Do you remember that episode of Saved by the Bell? Michael J. Fox was on there? Oh, also I have another correction.
Yeah, he played that character, Grow E. Pains. That's why I got it mixed up.
He played the famous comic strip character, Growy. Who's always in pain because he's constantly growing.
Yeah,
he can't stop.
Yeah, we can't. It's actually a Cthulhu-style horror strip. It's a 3-panel horror comic strip.
Yeah, it's a Sunday strip. He just grows. He just keeps growing, and like his bones grow, but like the rest of his body cannot keep up, and it is just like there's tearing, there's twisting, there's viscera. It's not a good scene. It's a body horror comic strip. Yeah, it's pretty popular in Brazil. I don't know about here.
Yeah, not so much here. I mean, we're not as advanced culturally as the Brazilians.
No, it's true. We are very close-minded when it comes to just bodies in general.
Yeah. We have to say, all our bones need to be inside our bodies.
Right, yeah.
Except our teeth.
Yeah.
They're your outside bones.
Wake up, sheeple. Open your minds. Oh, I have another correction to make.
Okay.
I realized this. No one called me out on this one, so I guess everyone was snoozing on this one, or they didn't look at the show notes. Remember,
or they got the joke on this one.
Yeah, right. They got it. They're like,
They knew we were joking.
Dave, he's playing around. Remember when it said that Brad Pitt was in a retro video game app ad? He was not. It was the ad that I was referencing, because when you were doing the show notes, and you were like, hey, where's that Brad Pitt ad? And I was like, hold on, let me find it. And then I did a search for like Brad Pitt video game ad.
That's what I did.
It's like nothing came up.
The closest thing I could get was like a Kotaku article where he doesn't let his kids play video games.
Right. I pulled that one up too. And then it was like when that happened, I was like, oh no. And then like I started doing like the mental gymnastics where it's like, okay, now wait. If that ad came out, Brad Pitt was probably like 20 years old like when this ad came out. So that's not him. It's an ad for Capcom. And I really think that kid in the ad looks like a young Brad Pitt from 12 Monkeys is what he looks like. Because he's
one monkey.
Yeah, he's just a baby monkey. He's 1/12 monkey.
But Brad Pitt, I mean, the surefire way to get your kids to fucking love video games is to just completely ban it from them. So whenever they have the option, they're going to fucking love video games so hard.
Yeah, whenever they have the option, they're going to like start a video game podcast and it's pretty much going to consume like their early 30s.
Is there anything that your parents forbade you from doing but that you love now? Like probably stemming from them not letting you do it when you were younger?
Like aside from manslaughter or including that?
Yeah, aside from manslaughter.
Like, manslaughter, yeah. Aside from fucking with hobos, I don't know if there's anything that they forbade, but, other than the standard stuff, like,
Beavis and Butthead.
No, Beavis and Butthead was good, actually.
South Park?
No, South Park was fine.
The Undertaker. Surely The Undertaker, because he was satanic.
I didn't watch wrestling, but it wasn't because it was banned. It was just like wrestling was one of those things where my mom was like, you don't want to watch that, really, do you? So I got a little bit of guilt on that one.
Oh, so it wasn't like you can't do it. It's like you're dumb if you do.
Yeah, my parents aren't like typically bougie, but like they were bougie on wrestling. Like they were like, they really looked down on wrestling. And it was like, oh, okay. So as a kid, it was just like, whatever. That's just not a thing that's not a thing that we do.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, as far as like Beavis and Butthead and South Park and stuff like that, they were really liberal about like the entertainment that I could consume. I remember watching Jaws when I was 7 years old, and I mean, it terrified me at the time. I remember watching like softcore pornography late at night, and
your dad was cool with that. They didn't like forbid you from tell you masturbation was evil and that you could never ever look at any kind of porn.
I don't want to go on the record and say that my dad was cool with me watching pornography when I was 7, but he didn't tell me not to. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
It said no dicks.
You're right, yeah. Wait, son, did you watch porn last night? Wait, please tell me there were no dicks in it.
Girl on girl? All right, go ahead, you're fine.
We never had a girl on girl conversation.
Oh, let's call him up.
You want to call him?
That'd be funny. Like, okay, what kind of porn is okay? Is that girl on girl, or is that like, is that sinful homosexuality?
Yeah, Daddy, how
solo girl, is that all you can watch a girl masturbate? That's fine.
Daddy, how small does the wiener have to be so that it's not weird to look at it?
Just so small that I don't want it?
Just smaller than mine?
Anything smaller than yours is fine.
Smaller than yours, Daddy?
Daddy.
Well, if that's the case, I'm going to have to ask you a very personal question.
Whose genes do I have?
Daddy, I sent you a dick pic. Could you please tell me if it looks more like your daddy's or mom's daddy's?
I know all daddies have seen all other daddies.
Yes. It's the rule. I mean, when Henry was born...
Daddy Dick Day, so you have your reference point.
Exactly. Henry was born after Kenna was, so the day that... Well, not the day that Henry was born, because I was enjoying my newborn son, but the day after he was born, I sent you a dick pic, and I was like, here's my daddy dick.
All right, thanks. I locked it in my vault on my phone where I keep all the daddy dick pics.
Yeah, you got a lot of them.
Oh yeah, so many daddies.
You do have that shit password protected, right? I don't want.
I'm just gonna let all those dicks just flop around. Yeah, they're mine.
Like the Ghostbuster vault. You don't want that shit to happen. You don't want those to get out.
Because you're
gonna have to capture them all again.
You're gonna find them all. I just got my dicky decks.
Yeah,
totally full.
Yeah, well, you gotta watch the dicky decks.
But like my parents, of course, no Beavis and Butthead, no South Park. Wrestling was forbidden while the Undertaker.
Because of the Undertaker?
Because of the Undertaker. But whenever he switched his themes to the American...
Not because they were being snobs?
Yeah, no. No, my parents are trash. It's fine. But the Undertaker was satanic until he switched to his American Badass theme where he was like the motorcycle guy.
Oh, I didn't know.
Yeah, then he was okay. Then I could watch wrestling.
What was the lore behind that transformation?
I do not remember.
Like, did he go into like a device and like he came back out like Kid Rock or something?
Because I feel like he had a falling out with, why what's his name? The guy who would always follow him around with the urn. I can't remember his name.
Ernest P. Worrell?
Ernest P. Worrell, that's it.
You did
they
say
had a falling out.
He said he like traveled around with Vern, right?
Vern, yeah.
Dude, if Ernest like had wrestled, I probably would have secretly watched wrestling because I was like super into Ernest when I was a kid.
Yeah, well, yeah, we all were.
It's true. Even children today love Ernest.
They do. I bet if I showed all my kids Ernest Goes to Jail,
They would-
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Okay, Ernest
But, like,
Scared
that's-
Stupid's
that's
a
the
good
strong one.
Yeah, that's a good one for kids. Like you can't start with like Ernest Goes to Camp. Like,
Yeah.
that only works for 80s
If you're an
kids,
Ernest
I feel
fan,
like.
yeah.
Right. Yeah, if you're cultured.
It's for the real fans.
Yeah.
But I remember like now I pretty much exclusively eat crunchy peanut butter because it was like my parents would not buy it as a kid, like at all. That's all, just smooth peanut butter. That's all it was.
Did they lie to you about it, like Bobby Boucher's mom style, where it's like crunchy peanut butter's the devil?
Well, I didn't really know it was a thing for a very long time.
Really? What was it like having it the
Choco
first time?
Chica didn't know until like Melissa and I got married and we lived here together. Like she asked for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I made her one with crunchy peanut butter, not realizing that she would have no idea what it was. She took a bite and she was just like,
Why are there rocks in here?
"Why are there crumbs in this?" And she was like trying to wipe them off. She's like, "What? What's wrong with this bread?" Because she wouldn't even think it's the peanut butter.
Right. Yeah, who put teeth in this bread?
Tiny wooden teeth? I don't know what these are. This is fucked up, man.
Is that what how old were you when you had crunchy peanut butter for the first time?
I might have even been in college.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, did it change your life?
Yeah, I like
Clearly
it. I
did.
like it so
because
much better.
You have it in the house now. You keep it in the
Yep.
house.
No one else will eat it but me, so I have one jar for me.
I'm trying to think if any like foods were forbidden when I was a kid for me, but like I was a really picky eater as a kid, so it really wasn't a problem. Like I did not want to try. Like I was the kid where it's like I'm really proud of Henry because like when we go to a Chinese restaurant, he'll just, we'll ask him like basic questions like, would you like noodles or rice? And then, he'll tell us and we order that. But me as a kid, I refused to go to a Chinese restaurant.
Chicken tenders.
Yes.
Thank you.
No, and I couldn't, yeah, absolutely. Chicken tenders, but I couldn't have the chicken tenders at the Chinese restaurant because those were gross. I needed I swear as a kid, I walked into a Chinese restaurant with my parents with like McDonald's in hand like 100% of the time. That's the only way my parents could go have Chinese food and bring me is if they stopped by McDonald's first. Yeah. Yeah, I was an asshole kid. I mean, if it were me, I would have been like, no, we're not stopping at McDonald's. Come on. Enjoy this shitty Chinese food that we're about to have together as a family.
You don't want it? Well, enjoy your water.
Pretty much. I mean, like, that's kind of how we deal with Henry right now when he because he's getting to a stage now where it's like he realizes that bedtime is after dinner. So what he'll do is he will stall on dinner like for as long as possible. And it's like he'll be like, "Oh, I'm still hungry." And then he'll like pick up whatever's on his plate and pretend to eat it. And it's like, well, pretending to eat it is not going to make you full. So let's go ahead and go to bed. But yeah, we're totally in that stage and it sucks. But we're like to the point now, like I'm to the point now where it's like, all right, you are going to have to go to bed. And you do need to eat what's on your plate or you're going to have to wait till tomorrow. And that's going to suck. Like, you're going to have to, you're not going to get any food between now and breakfast. Do you understand that? And he usually gets him to eat.
Yeah.
But sometimes it doesn't. And then, you know what? He doesn't die overnight.
Yeah. There was another food I was thinking of that my parents absolutely would never have. I cannot remember what it was at the moment.
Jell-O.
They were okay on Jell-O.
We had a lot of Jell-O when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's probably why
sometimes we would have it.
I'm not down with Jell-O anymore. Unless alcohol's involved. Like, unless it's like a Jell-O shot. Otherwise, you can keep that fucking Jell-O. Even if it's mixed into something, like, no. Like, what is that kind of salad or whatever that they mix Jell-O in? Is that like...
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's got so many different fucking names.
Yeah, no thanks.
And kind of something Nicole will complain when she goes to, like, Josh's family get-togethers, and they've got, like, here's a hamburger and some green beans and Jell-O salad.
Snickers salad.
Snickers salad.
Yeah. Cool.
She's like, it's on the plate with their savory stuff.
Oh, when you were a kid, could your food touch?
Oh, yeah, I've always been fine
I
with that.
figured, yeah. You're like striking me as like a totally like laid back, food can touch kind of guy.
I don't remember being super picky.
That is a skill I developed later in life when I realized that, the world doesn't end when the corn and the mashed potatoes touch. And it's actually pretty delicious when they do touch.
When they do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Taryn Landon still food not touching. When she goes to her grandmother, she has a special plate that divides all the foods.
Really?
Yep.
Henry has a plate like that.
So did Kenna.
I wonder if Taryn's is just like a gigantic version of that. You know what I mean? I hope it is. I can't, dude. My parents.
Dave the Gnome giant divided plate.
Yeah, a David the Gnome themed plate. I like that. Where it's like Swift the Fox is in like one little cubby. David the Gnome's in the other. Mr. Dave or Mrs. David the Gnome. I can't remember his
name,
wife.
yeah.
And then
a really downplayed character, Miss Gnome.
Yeah, and I can't name any other character. Honestly, like it's David and Swift. And like I can't name, and then there's
the trolls.
The trolls, right? Exactly, and then David's wife, and then some other gnomes.
There's that gnome that was really short and drank all that that potion to make him grow taller, and he's like the tallest gnome now. And that episode about the kids who wouldn't eat their mom's cooking until they didn't eat for like 2 days, and then they thought it was the most delicious food ever. The two episodes I remember the most prominent.
They didn't die when they slept without food either.
That's true. They didn't.
They just learned to appreciate the food that their parents gave them.
Hunger's the best spice, Dave.
I've heard that. You know what I think it doesn't work for? Kid cuisine. Because I had a lot of that when I was a kid.
I had a lot of that too.
I loved it too, honestly.
Yep.
I did.
Oh, that gross sort of brownie thing.
Yep. I'm so glad you went to the brownie where it's like, oh, don't forget to slit the film above the brownie so that it doesn't pop.
So it's cold in the middle and is pockmarked like the surface of the moon all around that.
Yeah. I'm really glad that we got to
Crunchy.
enjoy kid cuisine separately as children.
Yeah.
You're a little bit younger than me, so you probably got this like the cool kid cuisine box art, like the 90s rad style.
I just remember Penguin and Polar Bear.
Yeah, man, they stuck with that. And I think kid cuisine is still around.
Oh, probably.
I'm pretty sure it is. It has been a long time since I've looked for it in the grocery store.
Are we going to have Kenna and Henry on, each with a kid cuisine in front of them, and get their reaction?
Oh, he's not allowed to eat that. Yeah, yeah. Look what it did to me. I'm not gonna expose my child to that. There is seriously, like, I honestly do
Henry
think
eats it. Oh, man, I want to see someone come on some clothes.
Yeah. What is up with this?
Ken will just want to know, like, who is Bailey J?
Yeah, it's probably it's hereditary. It has nothing to do with the kid cuisine. Although I would like to see that warning on the side of a kid cuisine box. Warning: children imbibing kid cuisine may form an addiction to pornography.
May induce very specific fetishes.
Yeah, be warned. Yeah, and it explains why I like to see polar bears and penguins fuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, all right.
Speaking of gnomes,
yeah.
The dwarves in this game we're about to talk about today look like gnomes.
Yeah. Just human-sized gnomes?
I think they're smaller, right?
A little bit?
Yeah, because there are dwarven slaves in this game.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And they wear red pointy hats, and they have like little white beards. They all look like David the Gnomes.
Because there are other dwarves in the games that you recruit.
Yeah, and they don't look like that.
Nope.
Yeah, I guess like they're not basic dwarves. They're heroic dwarves that you can recruit in your party, I assume.
They have hero classes and not commoner classes.
Right, yeah, exactly. They're PCs, not NPCs. So what are we talking about? What game is this?
Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict.
All right. Good. I played the right game.
For the Sega Game Gear.
For the Game Gear. Released only in Japan.
Yep. So part of the Shining Force fan translation club or whatever. It's just a fan translation.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I didn't finish the game. I'm 4 battles away from the end. I would be 3.
I only got 1 battle ahead of you then.
Oh, you didn't finish the game either?
Well, okay. So I played on the pie machine that Big Dick Pie Maker Chris Vaughn got me.
Yeah.
And I learned early on that save stating on that ruins it for the Game Gear. Like it
also ruins your experience.
Well, yeah. That's not a game you have to save state on exactly.
No, I don't know. I could offer at least 2 times where save stating would have saved me 40 minutes. Like I said, I'd be 3 battles away from the end instead of 4 if I would have like strategically save stated.
Because the first time like I save stated, I remember I saw the Kraken pop up. I was like, oh shit, the Kraken's always a rough battle.
Yeah.
So I save stated, and it corrupts my data. Because remember, I save stated and then later loaded it and fucked everything up. Had to restart. So I made a few battles. I tried save sitting again, thinking maybe it was a weird mistake. Nope, corrupted my data. Had to stop. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'll just play it straight. I made sure I could save normally and load normally.
That'll work.
Could. I was fine. Yep. And I played about halfway through the game, and because the game gear doesn't load right, like the screen resolution is all messed up. So I have to go into the screen and change it. And when I was doing that, I accidentally save stated it. And it corrupted the data, and I had to start over.
Yeah. You were dedicated. I would have given up on it. I died like this. The second time I died and had to restart a battle in this game, I almost gave up on it because it's like 40 minutes down the drain. Fuck this shit.
Well, I remember I could with that my halfway record. I didn't have to start entirely. I could restart it about 5 battles before the point of halfway.
Say what?
Yeah, it didn't erase it entirely, but it just set me back.
Oh, I see. So
for some reason, it just set back to a random point, and that's where I could load in and play.
Like how many battles in was that? Where it would let you go back to? Like halfway through the game?
8 or 9 battles is where I could load back in.
Okay.
And so I just like, all right, I'll start here and I'll play this. And I saved normally and all that. And then I remember I unplugged it to move from the kitchen to the bedroom to play. And after I plugged it back in, turned it on, it makes it where I cannot save the game and load back. Normally I have to go back to that one fucked up point. So I had to start back from that, quarter of the way to the game all over again.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to play it one straight playthrough. I want to finish this. And I played it all the way until...
In one sitting?
In one setting.
Wow.
All the way through until the last... I had 3 battles to go.
Yeah.
Power went out.
Oh, God.
So then I was like, okay, now I'm done.
Yeah.
3 more battles. I'll watch it on YouTube, and that's good enough for me.
Well, damn, man. Yeah, I almost got to the point where you were. You were 1 battle ahead of me.
I put enough time into this where it could have been Shining Force 2. So.
Yeah. Well, look, man, I'll be real with you. This game is a lot longer than it was suggested it would be on How Long to Beat. It's a trend that I'm noticing on howlongtobeat.com, which is a site, if you're not familiar, where it gives you an average time on how long it takes to complete a specific game. Yeah. Really, really cool idea. The times are always like, whenever I look at a time, what I need to do is add 5 to 10 hours on top of that.
Well, I imagine it's also how you play Shining Force, because the games that I watched on YouTube, I could only find one playthrough of the whole thing, and I cut it for the last 3 battles.
Well, there's about to be a second boy in town with a full playthrough.
Hell. Yeah. And then I noticed he had his characters like Ruberan is like level 15 as a ninja.
Because that's really easy to do.
Yeah, but then he has other people who were like promoted in like level 3.
Sounds like my party.
That are hard to level up. So I imagine like if you play just using your strongest few characters, I'm imagining it might be a little shorter as opposed to like how I play. And once one person levels up, all right, I'm not leveling up again until everyone else is that level.
Yeah, man, I got to tell you, we do need to get into like the basics of this game, but I do like this conversation because there are people listening who are like, what the fuck is a Shining Force? But like, I started playing the game that way where it's like, I got to keep every level even. We got to do this the right way. That's the right way to do it. And then I did get to a point in the game where it is like, fuck this shit. This takes forever and it is boring as hell. And it's making me hate this game because it's like the battles take, like every battle took at least an hour. Yep. At least 1 hour. And it's like, when I'm playing and like I know that it's like I'm 40 minutes in and it's like all of a sudden all of the enemies like start targeting the one hero, Ian. The hero's name in this game is Ian. If Ian dies, you got to restart that battle. You got to do it all over.
The only thing I hate about Shining Force games.
Fucking sucks. Yep. It sucks.
Yep.
Because it's like, everyone else can die.
It's
as
that
long
way
as,
with some enemy battles. Some enemies you can end by killing
a
one,
boss.
But you die every time with your leader dying.
I don't like that either. Because it's like, I'm okay with the idea of if you kill a boss, it ends the battle, no matter how many other enemies are on the field. But they need to tell you that. Because it sucks when it's like, when you are trying to like grind experience and get everybody to the same level, and it's like, oh, I killed that hobgoblin and now the battle's over.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
So I don't know. I feel like you're probably going to be defending this game a lot.
It might be. I think as far as Game Gear, okay, let's say Game Gear Shining Forces, Sword of Haja is better than this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you love Sword of Haja.
I do.
How much, we're kind of doing this episode backwards and I like it.
Yeah.
If you would give this game a beer, Tyler, it sums up how you feel about it. So like, what about Sword of Haja did you like better than Final Conflict? Sword of Haja is the Game Gear Shining Force that came right before Final Conflict, right?
I feel like it has more, there are a few more dynamic battles. It's not, there are more, the terrain is different in Shining Force. I feel like the scope of characters is wider.
How so?
Well, Shining Force does have way too many centaurs, but...
Like just in general? Like
Yeah.
Shining Force games in general do?
Shining Force
Sword of Haja
has too many
Okay.
centaur characters.
You don't like centaurs all of a sudden?
I like centaurs. I do, but I don't need like 5 of them.
Well, try-
I don't
can't-
need 5 centaur knights in my 20-person party.
Are they not easy enough to sexualize for you?
Oh, you know I love that Chester and Sarah fan
Yeah,
fiction.
objectify those horses. Damn it. Shit, Lord.
I mean, all the stories are all pretty much the same. I guess I would prefer the story of Final Conflict because it has all the tie-ins and stuff to Shining Force 2.
That is a cool thing about this game is that the story of Shining Force, Gaiden, Final Conflict is a bridge between Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2. It's a great idea. I love that idea. And I have not played Shining Force 1. But there were things in Final Conflict when I was playing it where I was like, that's really cool. Like I know what happens in the future. So that's neat that they've kind of like tied that together. Very cool. That is like, I think the strongest point about this game is that to me, this is the anti-bullshit timeline because it's like, this is an official thing. These timelines are 100% connected in canon inside this universe.
Yep.
It's not like, well, you guys wanted us to like make up some bullshit between games, so that's what we've done.
Do you like Stephen King's linked universe?
Yes and no. I remember like as a kid, I didn't realize that the universes were linked. I had no idea. And I say, you know what? I really shouldn't weigh in on it because I am not like I haven't read any of the Dark Tower. Like I am very much like I like Stephen King's short fiction, and I like Stephen King's horror.
Yeah.
I want to give Dark Tower like a real shot because I know everybody loves it. And it's not one of those things where it's like, I refuse to read this because it's a long series. It's just, it's a little intimidating because there's so much, you know what I mean? I think it's neat. I think it's neat that it's all connected.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, yeah, I love it. I love timelines interconnected. So I run my D&D games. All my D&D games are interconnected.
But see, I think when Stephen King, there's a difference to me. Like when he's doing it, it's not. It feels like he's doing because it seems like it's a fun thing for him, you know, and that he enjoys it. It doesn't seem like shit. My readers really.
Want me to put it all together.
Yeah, so I guess I'll do it. Here's your three paragraphs.
I guess if a kid gets abused, they have The Shining. Sure, whatever. They all have The Shining.
Right.
All the kids from it and the kid from The Shining, they all have The Shining.
That's fine. I think you mean The Shinning.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Well, I guess, do you hear that, Dave?
What's that? Oh, the train's a little late.
We completely. Yeah, that train left the station. We had to wait for the second one.
Well, that's what I was like. I think we're doing this backwards. Yeah, of course I hear that very, very late train. It's never a good thing when your train comes to you and tells you that she's late.
Yeah.
But of course I hear that. Which ushers in a segment called "Wait 1 Second."
I love it. Let's do it.
Well, in this "Wait 1 second" moment, I would just like to share that Fresca is a lot better than I remember it.
See, as a kid, I fucking hated it. It's all my
Me
aunt
too.
had. So I would drink it and like Diet Right. I fucking hated both of them. But now, yeah, man, I like Fresca. I like Fresca a lot.
This episode brought to you by Fresca. Better than Mondo. It says that on the box of Fresca.
They were stiff competitors in the mid-90s.
Yeah. I'm sure you remember those classic commercials where blind taste tests are set up where people drink Fresca and then Mondo and then try to tell the difference.
And then Frescondo.
Frescondo. Frescondo, the swarthy mascot. Okay, guys. Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict, or as it's known in Japan, a bunch of kanji that's not Romanized that I can't even try. It's a 1995 tactical role-playing game for the Game Gear. It takes place between the games Shining Force and Shining Force 2. It was released after both games with the intention of connecting their plots. Despite its name, it is not directly story related to Shining Force Gaiden or Shining Force Gaiden 2. Shining Force Gaiden 2 being Sword of Haja. Also released for the Game Gear. Both of those games came out on the Game Gear. So if it's a Shining Force Gaiden game, it's a Game Gear game, right? Have you ever played the first one, Shining Force Gaiden? Or just Sword of Haja? Because Sword of Haja is 2.
There's another one?
Yeah, there are, I don't know if the other one, here, let me check. Let me see if it's been released in the US.
Because I played Shining Force 1.
For Genesis?
Well, I played it on the Dreamcast. I guess it was on the Genesis. It was in the Sega Smash Pack.
Oh, okay. Then, yeah, I don't know.
So I played the original Shining Force. Well, the first one I ever played was Sword of Haja. Then Shining Force 1 and Shining Force 2.
Okay, here we go.
Shining Force Final Conflict.
So Shining Force Gaiden, the first Game Gear game, was also a Japanese-only release. So the only Shining Force Game Gear game that came out for us that we could have played was Shining Force Gaiden 2, Sword of Haja.
Gotcha.
The original Shining Force Gaiden for Game Gear did come out, it looks like, on Virtual Console, but it also came out, it's included as part of Shining Force CD.
Okay, so I need to get that.
I mean, yeah, if you want to get the full Shining Force experience.
And I do.
Yeah, totally.
I love these games. I fucking love these games.
I want to play Shining Force 3.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, I guess, the 3D one.
The four-part chapter. Like, I think we only got the first
We got the first one, yeah. And then apparently they wrapped it up like slapdash, like, oh, here's an ending. Yeah. Neon Genesis Evangelion style. I don't know. But, yeah, here's the deal. I'm down to do one of these once a year. Like, I'm down to do an annual Shining Force game, but, like, I don't want to do one
for a year after this.
For a year after this. Like, this is good. I'm good. I'm good. That's enough Shining Force for me. Thank you. But let's see. Okay, so unlike most of its predecessors, this game was never released outside of Japan. English patches have been created, obviously, by fans for players who cannot speak Japanese, of which I am one of those. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much the...
Because it's the same, turn-based tactical RPG. Mm-hmm.
It's not isometric like Final Fantasy Tactics. Nope. It's like simply just straight down overhead camera view. Yep. It is essentially, it feels to me like a tabletop war game simulator.
Yeah, it's very simple.
Simplified version for sure. Yeah,
there are nuances that it does not go over with you. You just have to figure them out.
Right,
like archers and flying creatures. Like an archer is going to fuck up a flying creature.
Deal more damage to a flying creature, sure. And then like if
the woods make it where your movement's like halved,
right? Exactly.
Stuff like that.
And certain characters, like flying characters, terrain doesn't bother them so much. But like try to send a centaur over the desert, and that motherfucker will not want to go.
Yep.
He's not half camel, half horse, unfortunately.
Not a camel tar.
No, not a camel tar. Do camels have big old wieners? Do you know? Like,
oh yeah.
I assume that they probably need to, right?
Yeah, that the hump is the vagina. You got to be able to get up to the top.
Oh, it is. It's like so. Like when I was a kid and thought it was a gas tank, it was actually just a semen tank.
Yeah, exactly. That's where they store it all.
Right. Okay, gotcha. It's where they store it and deposit it.
Yeah.
Did you know you can't tell male and female camels apart? They're actually asexual.
Yeah, you have to crack the hump open.
Yeah, you crack the hump open and release all the spores.
Yeah. You have to jerk it off and it explodes.
Yeah, right. It's kind of like when you blow like a dandelion puff. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, just camel seed.
Yeah, it's the only way. That's the only way things can grow in the desert. That's a fact.
Because this game, don't get me wrong, I feel like the characters in like Sword of Haja are better, but I did like some of the characters, and I do like how this plays out
in Final Conflict.
Yeah, like
so. Who did you like?
Ruberan,
the thief ninja.
Thief turned ninja, yeah.
Yeah, Ruberan is a certified badass.
Oh, and I did not expect it. Like, I know, like, I feel like the thieves
He's a
are always
ninja.
like the sleeper
He's
sort of
Slade.
characters.
Yeah, just like
But
Slade was.
even as a thief, he was pretty fucking badass. Like, he wasn't
It's
like...
true.
Because I feel like if you don't know what you're doing in other Shining Force games, like, the characters who suck quickly get left behind.
Mm-hmm.
But there are a few gems that if you work on, once you promote them, that they're amazing. Ruberan was just badass, like, all the way through.
Yeah, but he does like exponentially get better when he becomes a ninja
When he
because
gets
like
super powerful magic.
well, not only that, like I barely used his magic, just his
Oh,
weapon,
man.
just his 5,000 gold shuriken was just like, oh, everyone else's equipment costs like I don't know 800 to 1,000 gold, but there's a shuriken for 5,000. I guess I'll just buy that, and it's just like Ruberan becomes like an absolute like. He becomes Death Destroyer of Worlds. Like, I mean, I'm sending him out, and he is like one-shotting dudes with the shuriken, and it's like, oh, well, I guess he's going to get all of the experience.
Yeah, you get Hall, and then
Howl is what I call him.
and he eventually learns attack. And just like cast attack on Ruberan, boosts his attack 10 points. All right, sure.
Oh, that's nice.
And he's just fucking shit up.
Howl, I guess, is an example of a character who reappears. I didn't realize this.
He's
Twitch
in Shining Force 2.
Yeah, he dies in Shining Force 2.
Yep.
Chat pointed that out to me.
He's Kaizen's mentor in Shining Force 2. Yep.
Right. And see, I totally forgot that. I didn't make that connection. But it's like, once that connection was pointed out to me, I was like, that is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
That is really, really cool. Because it's like, Howl starts out as pretty much Harry Potter. I mean, that's pretty much what he looks like. He's a little boy with like round glasses and a Harry Potter haircut. And it's cool because it's like he grows up to be very, very old very fast. That's how magic works.
You promote him and he turns into the wizard from the D&D cartoon.
Yeah, he's a star-spangled sorcerer. Yeah, he does look like a weird like what if Captain America was Doctor Strange? Like that is what he looks like when he promotes, because he's got this like blue robe with stars on it. And he's got this like red wizard's hat and red cape. Yeah,
I feel like magic in this one is a little weaker than it is in
magic
the other Shining
sucks
Force.
in this game unless it's an enemy casting magic on you, in which case it's always like devastating. It's devastating. And I feel like the main gimmicks in this game, specifically Final Conflict, are all like choke points, because that's where I found myself like dying the most. Is like the game, I feel like a lot of the battles are designed for you to get clumped up, and then a spellcaster comes down and just starts blowing your party.
And you only get Sonnet is the only archer to even try to prevent that.
Yeah, Sonnet, you get one archer.
Yep.
Yeah, and I like Sonnet. She's bae. She's probably she's my waifu
Definitely.
for Final Conflict. You know how we talk about waifus for Shining Force 2? Yeah, it's 100% Sonnet, the elf where exquisite detail is given to her butt in the game. Because like if you study that sprite, which you'll see it a lot, because you always see when a character attacks an enemy, or an enemy attacks your character, it goes from the overworld view, just like it did in Shining Force 2. It goes from that overworld view,
From
the
a
map
rough
view.
8-bit overworld.
Yeah, to like a behind the main character kind of camera angle where you see either your character attacking the enemy or vice versa.
Where it looks like hand-drawn sprites battling each other.
And the sprite work is really good, just like in Shining Force 2. I mean, I felt like that is one of the strong points of this game. I was really surprised how good it
Surprisingly
looks.
good for the Game Gear.
Yeah, very good for the Game Gear. But yeah, Sonnet, they were like her butt has like highlights and lowlights, and it's just like, yeah, they were all about this, and I am grateful for it.
Because if I had to play this game again, I would probably just drop offensive magic users in place of heavy characters.
Yeah, I probably
Just
would
have
do
more
that too.
healers. That'd be about. That's it. You're good.
I rolled with 3 healers because I had Cynthia, who is like healer.
The only character who can learn aura. Yeah.
And, well, she's not learning it in my party because she is way underleveled. And then I had...
Her attack eventually gets pretty good, so I gave her attack boosting gear and then used her to level like that.
I gave her the Protect Staff because I was worried about her dying. But you know what? It doesn't really make a difference. She dies anyway. She's made out of paper and does not have enough MP to justify...
Her MP is really
It's
bad.
so
like
fucking
your
bad.
master monks have more MP.
Oh, yeah. And that's why I rolled with 2 Master Monks in addition to Cynthia, because I went with Knuckles, not to be confused with the Echidna. This is a Sega produced game. It's developed. I mean, like.
What else would you call someone who hits something with their fists?
Try a little bit, or like if you're making a reference to a character, like a Sonic the Hedgehog character, make some other kind of tie-in other than just the name, right? Because like Knuckles in Final Conflict looks nothing like the Echidna from Sonic and Knuckles.
No, not really.
He just looks like a baby sumo wrestler with like a pink top knot.
Yep.
And then I also like the other Master Monk. I can't remember his name right now.
It's the old man monk archetype.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I liked about him, because like his portrait is like the best. He looks like he is straight ripped out of like a kung fu movie. He is that's a really good way of putting it. Like the archetype old monk dude. That's what I call them, old monk dude.
Because who else did I use a lot? I mean, everybody that you start with, I kept throughout the whole course of the game.
Pretty much me too, because it's like one of those things where I feel like when I've put a lot of time in a character, like hours and hours and like 11 battles or whatever, it's like I'm not getting rid of Paige. It's like, because like
Paige gets pretty badass.
Paige is great, but it's like, okay, so here's the thing. It's like Paige is great, and it's like I work on Paige and build Paige up, promote Paige, and then all of a sudden they give me a gladiator out of the blue, and it's like, here's a gladiator that's worse than Paige. And it's like, okay, cool. You just sit in the sidelines forever.
Yeah, this game does it worse than the others, where like you want to keep the characters that you have to promote, because their stats are way better, and you can put more. And you can, the longer you wait to promote them, the higher their stats are going to be end game.
Promotions are really big. That's a really big thing.
That's the fun thing about Shining Force.
That's kind of the crux, yeah.
Because once you get a character to minimum level 10, then they promote to their next class, which is always much stronger and much cooler looking, and you can use better weapons.
It's like a prestige class in D&D or something like that.
But if you can wait until level 20 to promote, then their attack can their stats can max out.
Because when you promote, their stats improve.
They go back to level 1, their stats improve, and then you can level up again. Even more.
Right.
Yep. But so characters who have all come to you promoted, and they're I guess their stats, maybe they're randomized or something, but they're never as good as someone who you took from real level 1. So like the only character that I got that I used heavily that can be promoted was the Dragon Knight.
Eric, the Dragon Knight. Eric. Yeah. The famously dragon name Eric. Remember, what was the name of that dragon in The Hobbit? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Eric. Andrew.
Keith.
Andrew, Keith the dragon. Yeah. Okay, whatever. The David convention's not good. And I'm curious, like
how we think like some certain like Sasuke, that's a badass Japanese name.
Right. Is it the other way around? Or it's like Eric. Holy shit.
That's awesome. Eric the Dragon.
Man, I wish I knew an Eric. I'd totally blow an Eric if I met one.
I'm trying to think what other characters. Knuckle, I mean, I love Master Monks in Shining Force
They're
games.
great.
They're so fucking badass.
They're great because they can attack, they can heal, which is super important. Some of them get ranged magic and stuff like that.
Yeah, but overall, I mean, I miss the thing I can think is so cool about Shining Force 2 that I wish would have been in this one are special items that let you promote to a rare class.
Yeah, I don't miss that as much.
Oh, I loved that shit.
Yeah, I get that. And I think that if I like loved these games, like you love these games, I would probably also really dig that. But when I only like these games, you know what I mean? And it's like, because of that, it's like, I want to have a fun experience, but I don't feel like I really need to milk it, you know? Like, it's fine. It's because like I said, when I was playing this game, I did get to a point where it's like, fuck it, no one's going to be the same level. Fuck it. Rubaran and Sonette are just going to run this shit and destroy everything. Everyone else is going to kind of stand back and then hopefully not die while this dynamic duo tear a swath across the battlefield.
I mean, because of course, and all the main characters are all pretty much the same in all the Shining Force games. They're a swordsman into a hero. They always know 2 magic spells, Egress and Bolt.
Egress allows them to flee from combat. And then I didn't realize that they all had bolt. That's interesting.
Yep. So
I kept calling Ian Bowie because Bowie is the hero character in Shining Force 2, and that's what I'm used to. You know, I'm used to Bowie. I'm not used to Ian.
And it's cool because they talk about Max, who Max is the hero in Shining Force 1, that he's fallen and been captured by the dark forces.
That's the whole thing, is they're going to find Max.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Robot Man.
Yep, Adam.
Adam, who is helping you. He's your mentor in this game, which is really cool because you find him in Shining Force 2 after, I'm assuming, really bad shit happens to him in Final Conflict.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember him in Shining Force 2.
Yeah, he's in that village. I can't remember the name of the village, but yeah, you find him, and I can't remember exactly what he tells you.
I'm assuming he's immortal because there's a surprisingly large amount of time between this game and Shining Force 2. Enough for 14-year-old Hal to
turn into an 80-year-old man.
Yeah. And there's because it basically, this game also establishes the kingdom of Grand Seal. That is the main where you come from in Shining
Force 2, which is really cool because it's like, it's cool, but it also kind of felt lazy at the same time because I feel like I would have enjoyed Final Conflict more if I would have played it before Shining Force 2. Because after having played Shining Force 2, they reused a lot of the same maps in Final Conflict. And it's kind of like, there were a couple times where I was like, oh, I feel like I've played this already. Because it's like the same, it's like that's the same mountain range, the forests are in the same spots, and it's like, especially the battle where you're, remember like the burial mound bird spaceship from Shining Force 2? That's in that,
and it's that I didn't like because they were like, they made such a big deal about this ship and everything. Oh, we used it like 50, 60 years ago, you know.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but it's like...
And it's back there again. Like, they went back and put it back, you know, bullshit. Like, it crashes and is destroyed in Shining Force 2. Like,
right.
Yeah, no.
Well, wait, so I don't understand what the problem is, because this happens before Shining Force 2.
It does, but so theoretically, they then go and fly and put it back and don't tell anybody it's there.
For Shining Force 2, I got you. Because you find it in the same spot. Yeah. You don't find it on Grand's Island.
Right.
Right, okay, I got you. Maybe it respawns.
Yeah, it grows back.
Maybe it does. Who knows?
Because I was just bringing up the character list here, like Mead, who is a centaur. Like, I used him a lot at first, but man, his defense is so fucking terrible.
I like Mead a lot. Morton was the name of the master monk.
There you go.
That I like. He attacks by launching himself at people with his head. He's Bonk, essentially.
There you go. Let's see. We talked about Rubran, Cynthia, Kiddo, the Bird Knight,
the Birdman. Starts out as Birdman.
Yeah, Birdman, and it goes to Bird Battler.
Yeah.
Kind of sucked at first, but
yeah, it got better though.
Toward the end, like I don't know if I got lucky because their levels up are variable,
and that's cool.
So I guess I must have gotten a good streak.
Yeah,
because he was almost as strong as Rubran.
Because when they level up, a bunch of different things will increase: attack, defense. Stuff like that, and there is a chance that it's going to go up by those stats are going to go up by 1 or possibly 2. Agility,
rarely even 3. You'll see.
I've seen 3 a couple times, and I think that was on Rubran, where it's just like he is truly becoming a god.
Kiddo and Rubran, I would get a lot of 3s with.
But see, bird people are great because they can fly. And yeah, it makes them a little bit weaker to like archers and stuff like that. But as far as I'm concerned, it is a really good trade because so many times, like what I need to do is get better at recognizing where there's a bottleneck that I just need to send flyers over that bottleneck and get behind the enemy lines.
Sylvia, who is another Centaur Knight.
Yeah, who's like...
I thought she was stronger than me. I used her a lot more.
Yeah, I use her too. I like the centaurs.
Mm-hmm. But there's always the thing with the centaurs is their weapons go from ranged spears to
lances,
which is a big difference.
But see, I keep a spear and a lance. So
lances generally do more damage, but
you can throw a spear.
Throw that
It's
spear
got
makes a
bigger
big
range.
difference.
So it does suck because it like takes up extra inventory. But like eventually you get the Valkyrie, which is a spear that does more damage than a lance.
Than everything.
So you're good to go. And you can buy it too. You don't even have to like rely on finding it.
And then Eric is the only dragon knight in the game.
Only one I found.
He's he's a flyer, but has the defense of like a frontline fighter. So I mean, Eric's pretty badass.
Oh yeah.
Minto is the other wizard. I never used Minto.
She's like a deer lady.
Yeah.
Is that right?
She's the furry of the group. She's like a cute deer wizard.
I never used her, not even for a
neither did
second.
The first hidden character, Sasuke.
Where is he? I didn't find him.
The first time you fight Michela, you're in the desert with cacti. If you check the first cactus beside you, he's just, oh, hey, you found me. I'll join your party.
Is that the first time you fight her or the second?
I think the first time you fight her after you fight somebody underground. When you get the elder back. The first battle after you get the elder back in the desert,
Gotcha.
Michelle is trying to taunt you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are cacti in that battle. And then
I see.
First one he pops up.
Well, missed him. Didn't know that was a thing. I needed.
He's okay. He's no Rubaran, but he's another ninja.
Well, what sucks is like, in order to check something, it's like a big deal.
It's a pain.
Like you have if there's a treasure chest on the battlefield, you have to not only go over to it and select from a menu check, you also have to be facing it. Like, you know what I mean? It's like there are a bunch of like quality of life things that that Final Conflict does not deliver. Like, honestly, even in 1995 when the game came out, like that's. Come on. I do feel like 1995 is like, that's kind of when we were figuring shit out on like how to make things not so obtuse. My other like huge complaint as far as like obtuse UI is, okay, you can equip two things in this game, weapons and rings. Can you equip a ring without first equipping a weapon? No.
Nope.
Can't do it. So it's like it honestly took Twitch chat being like, oh, you want to equip that ring? You have to equip a weapon first. But I was like, but I already have a weapon equipped. Doesn't matter. Got to equip the weapon again, and then you'll get the option to equip a ring. It's like, oh, that is awful design.
Yep. And in some chests, you have to have flying characters. So you
sure.
always need to have a decent flyer no matter what.
Which I think is a good idea anyway.
It's a good idea, but that sort of just bugs me a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Because I mean, yeah. But I guess here's the thing. I'll play devil's advocate on that. If you get to a battle, realize you need a flyer to get to a chest, Ian could always egress, and you could reform the party, put a flyer in it, and go back into it.
There's Ridion, the warrior, who is a dwarf.
Right. He is the shitty page, in my opinion.
Yep.
I don't know. Like,
completely agree. And when I look through guides and things like that to see tips and tricks, like everyone says, this guy's not worth it.
Really?
Yeah, he's no Page.
He didn't look it to me, but I had been working on, like, Page had been in every single battle, so I would expect Page to be pretty damn good.
And then there's Kojiro, who is the other hidden character, the samurai.
Oh, where is he? I didn't find him.
There's another battle where you fight a Michela doll.
Yeah.
There's in the corner.
There's several.
There's a one patch of forest in the corner.
Yeah,
of the screen.
I remember that. He's in there.
If you check that, he's there.
Fucking bullshit. Is he any good?
He's all right. I mean, I used him. He's got really high attack, but his movement's really shitty. Then, of course, the callback to Shining Force 2, well, not callback, well, you know, the reference is...
Technically, it's a callback because this game came out after Shining Force 2.
So, Odd Eye is one of the last characters who joins you. He's a big deal in Shining Force 2.
Yeah, for real.
And it's very cool to see him because this also kind of reveals that something I didn't really think about in the Shining Force universe, that they are all on the same world. And basically, the two gods that basically split the world in half, Metula and Vulcanon, that they have sealed away. In order to become the gods they are, they've sealed away multiple devil lords. So who are all always trying to come back through different cults and things like that. And the devils compete against each other. So now because you're fighting Darksaw in this game, one devil lord who comes in conflict with Xeon, who is the one from Shining Force 2, and Odd Eye does not want him to be fully resurrected, so he helps you defeat Darksaw.
Makes sense, because he's not on that Devil Lord's team.
Right, he's like, no, fuck this guy. I'll help you guys. Next time we fight, I'll have to kill you, but for now, I'll have to kill this guy.
I like that. I think that adds like depth to the story. That's nice, and I do think that RPGs need that. That's a nice touch. I like that a lot. other than that, I feel like the story is pretty bare bones.
It's pretty generic. I think it was a nice thing that they did to link the games together.
Totally.
But I feel like it was it might have been someone's passion project to do this as opposed to like a full big developed team that would have put this together. Because I don't feel like it's as fleshed out as other Shining Forces.
I kind of think, now granted, I've only played 2 Shining Force games, but I kind of feel like in general, their kind of story's kind of bare bones. Like compared to like a full-fledged
there was
RPG.
more to Shining Force 2 than I've seen any of the others.
Yeah. Well, yeah, obviously Shining
like
Force 2 had
Lemon
more.
crawling through like that fire, like it had its cool moments.
That's a cool moment, but like as far as like the complexity of the story itself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It.
You're right. It is tropey.
Yeah, it feels more like NES style, like, or even Phantasy Star style, Phantasy Star 2, where it's like go to this town. You have a thing to go do the thing. Go to the next town. They have a thing there, you do that thing, go to the next town. It kind of feels like that, but instead of towns, it's battles, like everything. The story kind of feels like it's there to link battles together, which I get it. Like battles are what this game is all about. Like that's the meat of the game is like these long battles. But I mean, it's not a deal breaker for me. I don't want to shit on this game because
I don't want to shit on it either. I love this game so much, and I'm so glad I found it. That Chris Vaughn gifted me this game that I never would have found otherwise.
Yeah.
I would have had no idea about this game.
I liked it. Okay, but it's not like, you know what I mean? It's one of those where it's like, I don't think I'll ever want to play it again.
Yeah.
I would like to finish it, and in all honesty, the only reason I want to finish it is because I have a lot of time in it, and I know that I'm only 4 battles away from it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, well, just do it. You know what I mean? Just do it. See all the content. Like, I know Shining Force 2, like, really kind of ramped up at the end. That's when, like, a lot of cool shit happened. That's like when you're talking about Lemon and all that. Like, that's when all that cool shit happened. And it's like, I am kind of curious how things play out with Michaela, the big bad villain of this game. I was a little disappointed in some of the other villains, like some of her generals. Because like I feel like
Lynx is very different from any other of the demon, like the devil generals you see throughout any of the other games.
I love Lynx because Lynx is kind of like this honorable, like very lawful kind of devil.
Everyone else is chaotic evil. He's like the only lawful evil,
and
he and Odd Eye,
and he's fucking like a gorgeous man, you know what I mean? And he's like wearing like
he's not like Aiku, who's a chimera, a blue chimera, like
right, right, or Magus, who looks like a radioactive garbage pail kid. You know what I mean? It's like he looks like he's I'm assuming that he's an elf, and he's wearing like second edition D&D like priest garb. You know what I'm talking about? Where it's kind of like got this like little tiny crown kind of thing with a veil over it, that kind of stuff. Yeah. He's very, I guess, I don't know.
Michaela is very Mystique-ish.
Yeah, totally, because she's blue. Right.
You can't have an unattractive female character, of course. They all have to, but he's the only attractive male character I've seen across, except with the exception of Odd Eye. So
right, as far as villains go.
Yep.
Yeah, totally. Because like, I don't know, even some of the hero men are pretty damn ugly. Like Paige, for example, is just.
See, I thought Paige was a girl.
If Paige is a girl, Paige is a very unfortunate looking woman.
Because I thought Paige was a dwarf, didn't have a beard, so it was a girl. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, poor Paige. So I don't know. And all the master monks look like comical. You know, but whatever. I was a little disappointed
until you get a female master monk in Shining Force 2, and of course they're super hot,
gorgeous.
They look like Chun-Li.
Yeah, totally. I liked Lynx a lot. I just wish that he wouldn't have gone out like he did, because it's like Lynx is the I guess Michaela's like right hand man, and it's like he is always like kind of like chiding the other generals, but it's like with like, oh, I'll help you, but I'm going to give you some shit beforehand, that kind of thing. And I feel like he's kind of built up. And then when I finally fought him and beat him and he actually died, I was like, that's it? That Lynx is over? Like, that's all?
Yep.
So I don't know.
Even then, I feel like the tale of Lynx is that like being honorable, whether good or evil, is stupid. Don't do it. It's sort of like what I feel the impression is.
Yeah, you think so?
Because like all the good guys get screwed over trying to be honorable. You get a villain trying to be honorable, and like he gets fucked over.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see what happens. I mean, if you want to like go over the ending, I mean, feel free to. I'm still gonna play it, but I mean, I'll leave it up to you.
I don't have to go over the ending.
Does it end like? Is the resolution? Does it pay off? Do you feel like
there are some cool moments where it talks about how they set up Grand Seal and who chooses who the first king is and stuff like that. So
I like when you talk to the king at when you fly the bird spaceship over, and it's like, oh, I remember this castle from Shining Force 2. It's very
go
cool.
To Galam.
Yeah, and then
because I think that's the same king.
It looked like it to me, but I don't know.
And knowing the story of Shining
Sleepy
Force
King
2,
from Shining Force 2,
it makes sense that he becomes the evil tainted king.
Right,
exactly.
exactly.
If it's the same one, so he can live forever.
And that battle's a little confusing because it's like here's another quibble that I have with the game. It can get confusing sometimes in telling you the story because when anyone talks, it doesn't tell you who's talking. Like it doesn't like in Final Fantasy, you know, where it's like cyan, : dialogue. So you know who's talking. They use portraits in Shining Force games, which I think is amazing. I love the portraits. It's a huge I mean it's really nice to like I feel like I like connect with a character because like I recognize them where it's like, oh, okay, that's what
when
they
you
look
see
like.
a character have a portrait, they're important.
They're important.
I can recruit them. What do I need to do?
Right, exactly. Which is, I mean, I'm on the fence.
Suikoden does that too.
Sure.
Suikoden has the character portraits that pop up.
I know, but
they help a lot.
That's not going to change my mind. I mean, yeah, it helps, but at the same time, it's kind of like, well, this kind of breaks immersion a little bit because like if this were, you know, real life, I wouldn't be like, first of all, I'd be freaked out that no one has a face except for 5 people. It's like I know 5 people who have faces, so I'm gonna stick with these guys.
Me, I know you have a face. You're important in my life and somehow, so I feel like I need to get to know you.
Would you like to join me? And then like I know.
Or would you like? Or do I need to join you? Am I? Am I a side character
How do I
in
rank?
Your story, or
do you have
do
you have a glowing necklace attached to you? Oh, you do. Okay, you're the main character.
You have the gem of good and evil. Fuck. All right. Well, yeah. All right. Whatever you say.
All right, I'll follow it. But like it gets confusing when characters who are not important start talking.
Yeah, because it's just lines of dialogue.
Just lines of dialogue, and you don't know who's saying it. Like when the reason I bring it up is because when you're talking to the king of Galam and devils barge in, and then there's dialogue like "You've betrayed us," and blah blah blah, blah, and it's like who is saying what? What is going on?
You're right.
So I literally was like, I can't follow this. I assume the king has betrayed the devils, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know?
I think because he gives you the Chaos Breaker, which can be used
which is
to
a sword.
seal away. Which I think you get. That's they changed the name, but I think it's the same sword you get in Shining Force 2.
Oh, I don't remember what it's called in Shining Force 2.
The light sword or something like. Basically, it's a lightsaber in both games.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you explain something for me?
I'll try.
Cursed items. I know they exist in Shining Force 2, but I never equipped any of them because people were like, "Don't equip that. It's cursed." But
I feel like sometimes you lose your turn when you're cursed.
Well, so sadly you're not gonna be able to answer my question. But what happened to me was I got a pair of Kaiser knuckles. And I was like, oh, this is like increases attack on my Master Monks by 10 and only lowers their speed by like 1. Like this is, let's do this. And as soon as I equipped it, I got a message that popped up was like, item is cursed. And it's like, oh, fun. And so I wasn't able to remove the item. And it would occasionally paralyze the character who had it equipped, which does suck. It's like what you said, you just lose a turn. I know that, in between some battles, there's like a camp phase where you can like buy items, you can save your game, you can swap out party members, and you can cure curses and poison and bring fallen enemies or fallen comrades back to life. Something I like to point out, I believe it was Gurk in chat. I love this because it's like he pointed out that when someone dies in Shining Force, they don't die; they become exhausted. Yet their sprite spins around and explodes in the fire. Right?
That happens every night when I go to bed.
Knuckles is exhausted. But anyway, I just think it's funny. I removed the curse from the weapon, but I was like, okay, so like I removed Knuckles' curse. I'll put it that way. It's like, okay, but can I re-equip is the curse gone from the weapon now, or when I re-equip it, is he going to become cursed again?
Yep.
Is that what happens?
Yep.
Oh, okay, good.
It just allows you to unequip it. Cursed weapons are just garbage. I do not know why they exist.
They're traps. It sounds like.
I mean, there are some you can use without equipping, like the dark sword.
Right.
You can use it without equipping it. You're not going to get cursed. The black ring, you can use it and cast bolt without doing it, but you can only do it a few times before it breaks, and you have to get it repaired and use it again, or use it one more time and it's gone.
That you get the option to repair. Yep. That's neat. I like that.
So except for like in Sword of Haja, when you actually get the Sword of Haja, you could use it as many times as you want and it never breaks.
I have a question for you. And it's not about beards or glasses yet, nor is it about cursed items. It is about, how do you feel about not being able to explore the overworld in this game? Because
that's the only thing I don't like about the Shining Force games.
Because like the Game
Gear, at least in
Gear,
Shining Force 2 and Shining Force 1, you do get to move her through towns and things like that.
Right.
That's gone in the Game Gear
get
versions.
this in Final Conflict. I was curious what you thought. You don't like it?
I mean, no. I mean, I prefer it, but I mean,
which way do you prefer?
I prefer being able to explore.
Okay.
But I'm totally fine playing it without it. I realize like that's the sacrifice to play this on, because Sword of Haja is the first one I played and I loved it, and you can't explore in that one. So then it was just a nice thing to see in Shining Force 2.
I 100% prefer Game Gear style. Where it is like, I don't have to worry about exploring. I don't have to worry about missing secret shit that I feel like is necessary to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in Shining Force 2, I really liked Shining Force 2, but I'm worried, like, if Twitch chat was so helpful in Shining Force 2, I'm worried that if they were not there, that I would have had like a grossly different experience.
You probably would have.
Because I wouldn't have found nearly half of the shit that I found that I feel like really helped me get me through that game.
Yeah.
So like knowing that I don't have to explore to find stuff, I guess other than the secret characters, we have to check random cactuses and forests.
Yeah. And in Sword of Haja, there are two secret characters, the ninja and the samurai.
Really? It's a ninja and samurai again?
You spot.
I kind of wish we hadn't already done an episode on Sword of Haja because, like, I kind of want to play it.
I remember talking about it, but did we do a full episode over it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm almost positive. Let me look it up.
Okay.
Episode 360.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it was a TADPOG. I think that's why I remember it, because I think we recorded it in TADPOG High Rise.
Okay.
Because it was one of those where it's like, you were like, I really want to do Sword of Haja, and I think I was like, I really don't want to play that.
Yeah.
But now I do, so I'm kind of like,
hey,
I'm a convert.
It'd be a fun thing to stream sometime, probably.
Yeah, but I do have a strict one Shining Force game a year, policy, though.
We'll add that to the end.
It'll have to be my very last one, for sure. I think I really would have liked Final Conflict better had I not played Shining Force 2 first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think because it doesn't do anything different. That's my biggest complaint, is I feel like Final Conflict doesn't do anything to improve upon Shining Force 2.
It does not.
Sword
of Haja is again a better game. So I mean, I have to play, because it's the very first one is for Game Gear, or is it for Genesis?
The very first one, Shining Force, is a Genesis game.
Okay.
If it has Gaiden in the name, it is a Game Gear game.
Okay, there are only 2 Gaiden games.
3 Gaiden games.
Oh, there are 3. So I need to play
Shining Force Gaiden, Shining Force 2, Shining Force Gaiden 2, Sword of Haja, and Shining Force Gaiden 3. Final Conflict. Right.
Which this doesn't take any. I feel like Sword of Haja was the better game than this. So for it to come after doesn't make as much sense to me.
Yeah.
But I definitely want to find the first one and play it.
The coolest thing about this game is that it bridges the Genesis games.
Yep.
It bridges 1 and 2. That's a really cool concept for a game, especially with it being a Game Gear game. I think that is probably its biggest selling point.
Yep.
Is that it is a portable Shining Force. Like when this came out, I mean, and you like Shining Force, this is a good thing. It's a great thing for you.
Yep.
But I would personally recommend Shining Force 2 over this.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And if you wanted a portable version, get a Nomad. It's fine.
Right.
They're just everywhere. You can find them very easily.
Right. I had a friend who had a Nomad, and I remember he would take it on band trips so that I could play on the bus, because I thought it was the best thing in the world, which it was.
That's so...
Yeah, Nomad was great.
Sega, man, they were too ahead of their time in a lot of cases. The Nomad was just such a fucking brilliant idea.
Yeah, it came out a little late, but yeah.
If there'd been a Super Nintendo version, fuck yeah, I would have bought that.
Well, now there is. You can get one.
Well, now there is, yeah.
Or you could just, put an emulator on your phone or something.
Back when it was something that would have caused a lot of gain for them.
Uh-huh.
Well, do you have any achievements?
Yeah, I do. I have a couple achievements. Let's see what I got. These are all coming from Twitch chat. I have been streaming this over the course of 5 Twitch streams. I hope to wrap it up. I hope to wrap up the game in one more Twitch stream, which will probably be happening sometime later this week that this episode drops. Follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TADPOG_podcast, and you'll get a notification when I go live. Other than that, I normally just stream on Sundays, at 8:30 Central at night. Which this Sunday I'll be playing whatever game we're going to be talking about on the next episode, which we've kind of sort of have talked about, but haven't really nailed it down.
I'm good to do that.
But there's a bunch of different ones. We have to figure out which one we're going to do out of that list, right?
Okay.
Unless I'm forgetting something that we talked about.
Okay. Well, Color a Dinosaur.
Color a Dinosaur? Yeah. Is that what you want to do?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Okay. Let's do Color a Dinosaur.
All right.
Done. Yes. First achievement coming from... I love this. It's Kana. It comes from Kana. On the Google Doc, on the Google form where you submit achievements, I think autocorrect might have bit Kana because it's coming from Jack of Ziggurat Moons.
Yeah, nice.
Kana's achievement is Burn Ward. And in order to unlock Burn Ward, have Blaze 3 cast on a group of your characters, which happens a lot.
Yep.
Because there is an enemy called High Witch that all they do is wait until you're clumped up, move in, cast Burn 3, and then you kill them.
Yep.
Second achievement I got coming from Josh ATC. Josh, by the way, thank you so much for helping me with a lot of stuff in this game. Josh was he was there. He was on point. He was giving me hints and tips and all that, pro tips, because he loves the Shining Force series, and it showed. And I feel like I let him down near the end because when Bowie died, I did it again. When Ian, the hero character, died in a battle that was just, I felt like it was such bullshit because it was one of those bottleneck scenarios, and then 2 spellcasters just waddled down and just blast, and then Ian was done, and it's well, there goes 40 minutes of progress. Yay! That's kind of when I turned on the game. He has an achievement called Patriot Games, and in order to unlock Patriot Games, you need to be reminded of the flag every time you use Howl after he is promoted, because he looks like Captain America as Doctor Strange. And the last achievement I got comes from 404 Error Lord Paul Pig, Onion Booty. And in order to unlock Onion Booty, you need to defeat an enemy with Sonette and then shed a tear at the amazing detail on her ass. Tyler, do you have any achievements?
I've got a few. I've got Mead Never Says Die, and that is when you complete the game, because Mead is your leader for one battle, and it's the very first battle in the game. So he is the only lead character
who is a centaur.
Who is a centaur.
He's a horse boy
and cannot cast Egress.
Ah.
So instead, he has an angel wing in his inventory when you start. Play through the game with that angel wing in your inventory.
Hey,
never use it.
I'm about to unlock that.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm about to unlock that. And here's why. I like to hold on to shit in RPGs, right? Especially when I'm not 100% certain what they do, even after someone tells me what they do. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and keep that anyway.
Because I've played through Earthbound a dozen times. I love Earthbound, my favorite game, but never once. Now, I mean, I don't even suffer from your hoarding issues.
Sure, I know. Yeah, I know.
But I've never.
I'm a monster. I get
Earthbound, it. You're not. Here's where I have it with you. I've never used a Hand-Aid. That it's Paula gives it to you, or Paula's mother gives it to you very early on. It's the handmade Band-Aid. Hand-Aid.
Yeah. I forgot about the
Hand-Aid. I've never used it.
Yeah, really? Just because you thought it was special?
It felt special,
yeah,
so I never used it.
I get it. No, look, I get it, man, because it's in Shining Force, in this game, Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict, when you go to the shopkeeper at camp, who's totally to be trusted because he's the reddest hair in the world with a bowl cut, crossed eyes, and he's like, I got the best bargains. It's yeah, I trust this guy. But anyway, he totally when you try to sell him something, sometimes he's like, oh, this is really rare. I'm going to pay you extra for that. Whenever that pops up, I'm like, all right, I don't want this item, but I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to put it on one of my sideline characters who is not in the party. So essentially, I've got mule characters where it's just like all they do is hold the shit. The shopkeeper's like, oh, damn, where'd you get that? I'm like, wait a second. We're keeping that.
Yeah, my other, let's see, bargains are for punishment. And that is, don't collect any of the end item, the special items that
you find
either
in the
drop
chest.
or find in chests. Only buy them through the bargain section.
Yeah.
Where they're unbelievably expensive.
Yeah. But it's fine because you get like a lot of money.
You do get a lot
You
of
get
money.
so much. You get way more money than you possibly like. You don't need all that money, which I guess is nice. You don't have to worry about it. But it doesn't feel like, I don't know, man. It's kind of like I bought shit out of the bargain hutch all the time, where it's just like, fine, I missed this thing. I had like full inventory and I didn't get this sword or whatever that dropped off an enemy. I'll just buy it for a ridiculous amount of money from the bargain hutch.
Or Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
Pineapple Express is never buy any healing seeds, only buy medical herbs throughout the course of the game.
I do love that. That's my favorite achievement of the year. I didn't know you were going to give us a good achievement.
I just thought of all those off the top of my head just
Awesome.
now.
You did good. I like it.
Thank you.
Funny boy. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
are we done talking about this game pretty much?
I think so.
Okay, cool. If you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be and why?
It would be Evil Spock's beard from the original Star Trek series.
The goatee, the evilest.
The evil
of
for
all-
the
of all
mirror
beard.
dimension or
Yeah.
whatever.
Why?
Because this game just sort of feels like the evil mirror dimension version of Shining Force.
Yeah. How so? When evil in what way?
Just not as good.
I see. Okay.
Still fun. I still loved it.
Because I was about to say, you did want to do this episode.
Yeah, no, I absolutely love it. It's a good game.
Uh-huh.
But it should have been better than Sword of Haja.
Okay.
I really think it should have been, but it wasn't.
See, you saying that over and over again really makes me feel like I need to play Sword of Haja.
I can't say that it is not nostalgic.
Because that's what I want to. That's what I want to figure out. That's what I want to figure out. I want to play Sword of Haja and like from a complete outsider look in and be like, all right, well, this game has this and this. I want to see
it is cool in Sword of Haja whenever your Shining Force gets split in two. So then you have to adventure as two different parties as two different main characters.
Okay, that's cool.
And then
I like
you
that.
recruit different members and then come back together for a much larger Shining Force once you reunite.
Okay, that is neat. That is, and I feel like Final Conflict didn't really become interesting. Its battles didn't really become interesting until about halfway through, because the Kraken battle was interesting just because it was difficult.
That was definitely a Shining Force 2 callback.
Right, absolutely, and that terrified me because
especially being so early on.
yes, and because I had a rough time with the Kraken the very first time I fought it because in Shining Force 2 because I went that wrong way, and I went west instead of east or whatever, and it's like you're fighting the Kraken, you got no chance.
Yeah.
So like when I rolled across it in this game, it was like, oh fuck. This is way too early to be fighting the Kraken. It was a tough fight. But Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would it be?
I would have to give it glasses in the sense that it's something you see through. I'm going to give it the Helm of Opposite Alignment from the 3.5 Dungeon Masters game.
Wow, that is a callback. I haven't thought about the Helm of Opposite Alignment in a long time.
Because it's sort of a tropey thing in some Shining Force games where people will have some sort of mask or helm or something like that changes them and they could be used and manipulated, and once that's removed then they're okay.
I haven't run across that yet in the game, so I'm 100% assuming that's what happens to Max.
Maybe.
Yeah, because it's like, I mean, it's pretty like, it's like I said, the story's kind of tropey, and it's like when it is revealed to you that Max has been like held captive and like by Michaela, and it's like, well, we haven't seen him yet. So we're probably gonna fight him, right? Like he's probably gonna be corrupted.
That's where my game ended, was the battle.
Oh, really?
Where you fight Max.
That's a bummer.
Yep. And it's very similar to the battle where you fight Lemon.
Right.
So
I mean,
he's got the dark sword and all that shit, just like the Lemon battle.
Cool. I mean, I guess cool. It's derivative, right?
Derivative,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
But yeah, okay. There's a thin line between like jamming on a theme, right? And then like just not being original.
I guess maybe because like sort of Haja, it's its own original story, and then like there are characters at the beginning of the game. You wait almost to the end of the game before you can finally recruit them, and it makes you feel like you've earned your spot finally. 'Cause
Sure.
these guys are like big heroes, and now you're good enough to have them.
Do you feel like in Sword of Haja, because they weren't dealing directly, like, or let me ask you this. This is a better way to ask you. Because the thing that makes Final Conflict cool to me is that it bridges to other games. But I feel like
that is very cool. That is the strongest point.
does that also box the game in and make it like
It is its own standalone game because of that.
It's
It's its own separate experience.
yeah. Well, I was just curious if you felt like
it's
it didn't
it's another, and you fight. It's a whole new demon lord or devil lord.
in Sword of Haja. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, my question to you is, do you think that Final Conflict doesn't stand out because it is constrained by the stories of Shining Force 1 and 2?
Yes.
Because they've got really
It
a
feels
limited movement.
It feels like a side story
Yeah.
as opposed to a main entry.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. A Gaiden, if you will. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I enjoyed your beers and glasses very much.
Thank you.
I've got another question for you. If you were to buy this game used, how much do you think it would be? If you were to find the average price on price charting for this game, how much do you think it would
I
be?
mean, Game Gear games aren't probably super easy to come across.
Japanese only.
But Japanese only. I'd imagine not huge probably pretty big in Japan, but not like a massive outbreak, like even going to consider bringing it over here. $50.
50?
50.
Tyler, actual retail value on average for Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict used or loose on the Game Gear at the time of this recording is $19.99.
You know, these games, you could buy the Japanese one. If you're a fan of Shining Force, you don't really have to have the fan translation. You could very easily play
through
an entire Japanese game and be totally fine.
The only thing that would be tough is equipping your party.
But then they were the only ones you could equip it with.
Yeah, I know,
And
but
you just always buy the more expensive one. Yeah, it would be frustrating.
It's
but you
still
going to
be tough because it's like, I bought this item, which is named with a scribble, and then I need to sell an item, but did I just buy this item? Am I going to sell back the item that I just bought because I can't read it?
You're right.
Or so that would be my concern. But yeah, as far as like the story goes and stuff, I mean, yeah, I feel like you could probably, read the Wikipedia entry and be like, okay, I got the story,
enjoy the
and then
playthrough of the game.
yeah, totally. So a little caveat along with that $19.99 on average, there is currently one for sale on eBay. According to price charting for $169. So I kind of feel like, and this is like the loose price, that $19.99 I gave you is based on one sale per year. So it's like, it doesn't show up often, apparently. So, but there we go. That was essentially what I'm saying is that's a mulligan. Because it's such a weird game, it's such a weird game to be buying in North America, right?
Yep.
I mean, I think anytime you have to like import something, it does weird stuff to the price.
Absolutely.
I don't have a quiz for you or anything.
We're running pretty tight, but let's take a call.
Want to take a call?
Yeah.
All right. Who called us? Looks like Beloved Adam gave us a call. If you can believe it.
I can't.
Here we go.
What's up, TADPOG? It's your beloved Adam. I ended that last call with a little bit of hype and aggression. I was just running out of time, and I really
Do not remember his last call, do you? We
Nope.
should probably go ahead and play it again.
Nope. I'd rather wonder.
wanted you to know what I had to say. So I figured I'd call back with a little gentler message, hopefully really clear quality, and just wanted to ask you guys a question.
Now I remember his last call. Yeah, the call quality was really bad, Adam. Thank you for reminding me on that one.
On top of all the talk that I had a minute ago. There's a Han Solo movie coming out soon, and I'd like your thoughts on it. I'm sure you'll talk about it before you do this call, but I really enjoy Han Solo, but there's a part of me that just kind of likes knowing that he was a smuggler and that he, got the Millennium Falcon from Lando Calrissian in a game. Like, I like knowing enough about him, but still a mystery. And I'm worried that this movie is just going to tell me everything about him, and there's not going to be any intrigue or mystery to me anymore. So I'm kind of debating whether I'm really excited about this movie because I'm a big Star Wars fan and it's another Star Wars movie, or if I'm just kind of burnt out a little bit on more Star Wars movies. So Dave, as the TADPOG resident Star Wars expert, what are your thoughts? And
uncontested.
Tyler, as somebody who's watched...
Tyler, you don't want any of that?
I'm just saying, you're absolutely the TADPOG Star Wars expert.
Let me try to get back to that point in the call where we were because I accidentally closed it out. We were probably right about here.
Films, a lot of the newer ones. What are your thoughts on a character that you don't have super invested?
All right, let's wind it back a little bit so we get some context.
You got it pretty much right. It was a question he was asking me.
A character that you don't have super investment in. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it, and I'll call back soon. And I love you so very much, very, very much. All right, bye.
Love you too, Adam. Thank you for calling.
We do love you.
I don't think I'm sure that we've mentioned. I've probably mentioned Solo in passing.
Ian talked about it.
I liked it. I liked Solo. Mm-hmm. I liked it a lot. It felt like a Star Wars movie to me. Mm-hmm. It didn't really. Here's the problem with doing a prequel. It's very. Hey, this ties in with Final Conflict. You pretty much know where the story's going. Yep. It's
like any big surprises.
Right. It's Han's not going to die. Or if he does, it's going to be a really weird movie where it's all about bringing Han Solo back to life.
Yep. Got super thick plot armor from the very beginning.
Right. You know that Chewbacca's not going to die. You know that Lando's not going to die. You know that the Millennium Falcon's not going to get blown up. So it's that's a tough way to start a movie. You know, that's a lot of that's an uphill battle that you've got to fight. So it's when I went into the movie, I saw it low expectations. I was like, I just hope this is a fun movie. And they did a whole bunch of stuff I thought they were going to do. They show Han meeting Chewbacca. And it's well, I knew they were, it just makes sense. It's one of those things where they're damned if they do, they're damned if they don't. If they show Han Solo meeting Chewbacca, you're going to have people being no, yeah, of course they're going to show that because you got to show it. But you're also going to have other people, if they don't show it, and be why didn't you show that?
I want to see that. How'd they meet?
Right. Yeah, exactly. And him winning the Millennium Falcon and all that. And it's kind of one of those where it's just I went in expecting to see all that shit and I was not going to be disappointed. I was just going to try to, enjoy the movie and not expect too much out of it. But I really enjoyed it. I know some people didn't like how Woody did in the movie, but it's awesome that he's part of the Star Wars universe now. So
who is Woody in it?
He plays kind of a mentor for Han Solo. I don't want to give too much away.
Dirtbag mentor?
Yeah, pretty much a dirtbag mentor. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where I was excited to see the movie because it very much felt from the trailers, it felt like a Western, a Western genre movie set in the Star Wars universe. Mm-hmm. I mean, you've got a train heist in it. You've got some intrigue, which is interesting. And it kind of also has...
Cowboy Bebop, the movie.
Not really, because it's not as stylish as Cowboy Bebop. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, because Cowboy Bebop's a space western, but this is
It's
totally.
not like Firefly. Firefly is a space western.
I've seen 2 episodes, and then yeah, I know I'm gonna get. Don't DM me. But it's I saw 2 episodes of Firefly and I was I like Cowboy Bebop better.
I like, don't get me wrong, I like Firefly.
Yeah. I
like it too. I don't think it's, but it's good and it's a shame it was canceled. It was canceled too early. The Serenity movie I think is really good.
Yeah. It rubbed me the wrong way just because it was one of those things where I kind of felt you're taking a lot from Cowboy Bebop, I feel you got kind of the same problems. You're kind of I don't know. But anyway.
I mean, I only really watched it for Joel State anyway.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Solo, I liked it. Yeah, I liked it. I think it got a lot of hate that wasn't really deserved. Mm-hmm. I think it had there's a really big, interesting twist in the movie. A bigger than the movie kind of twist,
Okay.
There is essentially... You know how you wait after the post-credit Marvel scene? Mm-hmm. There's essentially one of those. It just happens before the credits. It's it happens a few scenes before the very end of the movie.
Okay.
And it's what the fuck is this all about? Mm-hmm. Adam, I do agree with you. Here's what's weird about this as far as releasing the Star Wars movies annually. Star Wars movies used to be an event. And it does,
No,
with
they're
them
not.
coming out like annually, they don't feel like events anymore.
Yep.
They feel like, oh, okay, well, geez.
Hope this year's one is good.
Yeah, or like, I hope that fatigue doesn't set in, which I feel like it had because I loved Star Wars. And it's like, I mean, I think when you've got legitimate fans of a thing and they're not like jazzed that a new movie is coming out, like that's kind of a problem. It kind of like,
But they're going to see it too. So, I mean,
yeah, but for how long?
for a while.
Yeah,
enough
but I mean,
enough
like,
to make some serious money for a while.
yeah, but I don't, yeah, I guess. I mean, I guess. I don't know, honestly. Like, if after the prequel trilogy and and honestly, after how like,
Although I like Assassin's Creed games, but like I'm not going to keep up with them anymore. They come out
No, it's impossible.
almost annually.
They
and
do
it's
come
just
out,
like,
yeah.
Nah, fuck it.
it's impossible. Yeah, I honestly, I think like the more often something comes out, the less special it is.
Yep.
And like Star Wars movies don't feel as special as they used to because it was a big deal. Like the prequel trilogy was a huge deal. Like that was enormous. And then The Force Awakens was a huge deal. And then it kind of just feels like, well, I mean, they just kind of come out
Yep.
all the time now.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's just not it's not an event anymore.
Yeah.
I think that was a part of the gravitas of Star Wars. I also think that I hate to say it, but it's kind of one of those things where it's like I've probably never been more like ashamed to say, "Hey, I'm a Star Wars fan," than I have been like this year and past year, just because like there's been so much toxic shit with the fan base of the Star Wars fan base. Like, just like, I feel like unnecessarily lashing out about like not liking certain things.
Oh, and The Last Jedi just being like the worst thing ever.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, of course. Like, I mean, The Last Jedi did shit that I didn't like. You know, I don't think it's a great Star Wars movie, but it's like people, like fans took it too far and like, harassing people who like are involved in the project and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's not a good look. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to be lumped in with a bunch of assholes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, you don't like a movie.
Don't like the movie.
You don't like a movie.
Yeah.
It's fine. Your opinion is valid, but like you don't have to be like hostile about it because then it makes all of us look really bad. And it's like that's what kills things because it's like now where it's like I don't really like to just like, for instance, like in my office at one point I probably would have Star Wars shit up on the wall, but it's like I don't know, man. I don't want a client coming in and being like, oh, he's one of these guys. He's like he's one of these man babies.
Yeah.
And it's like, not really. It's just I like Star Wars, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a shame. It bums me out. It bums me out.
Do you know what Kenna calls the Bible?
Star Wars?
The Darth Vader news.
The Darth Vader news? Why?
I have no idea. Like, there was a Bible sitting on Choco Chica's bed the other day, and she picked it up. She was like, "Oh, Daddy, let's read the Darth Vader news." I was like, "Where did you hear that?" And she just ignored me. She's like, "Just open it up. Just gonna read some Darth Vader news."
And that's when she learned how to read.
And I asked Meg about it. Like, where
Yeah.
do you know where this came from? Because I don't know where this
Darth
came
Vader
from.
Bible?
And
Darth Vader news.
And apparently, she just picked it up one day, and it makes her friends laugh at school.
Gotcha.
So,
All right. Was it? Do you think how heavily do you think YouTube was involved in that?
yeah. So it had to evolve somewhere, probably starting from fucking surprise videos.
I also love that you said that you talked to Meg about it because like we have at least once a week, I'll have a conversation I'll go through like the chain where it's like, oh, I heard Henry say a weird thing. I'll ask Nikki. She doesn't have an idea. I ask Mom. She doesn't have an idea and it's like YouTube. Like
Yep.
absolutely has to be.
Who else do you talk to?
Right? Yeah. I mean, there's the other kids at school, but I mean, who knows?
I don't think my mom calls the Bible the Darth Vader news to get us, so I'm not sure.
Technically, I think she probably got that from me. So, do you have what do you think?
I will eventually see the Star Wars movies, and Solo will be the last one I see. I have no interest in it whatsoever. Partially because I don't like Harrison Ford, partially because I feel like Han Solo is that personification sort of what I think of Harrison Ford as.
I see. So even though it's not Harrison Ford in the movie, you still have an aversion
picture him,
to the
and
character.
he saves people and stuff like that. But when I see him out at Comic Cons and in interviews and stuff like that,
he saves people and stuff like. Let's just gloss over that.
Yeah, we'll say gloss over that.
He saves people. You know,
so
like we all
I know
do.
he's not a complete asshole, but he's one of those people I put in the same category as Bruce Willis that sort of hate their own success. And that, I don't know, that kind of person, but kind of like the people who...
You don't think it's manly and sexy and attractive?
No.
I honestly kind of think that's why a lot of people act that way.
Yeah. Or people who hit it big and then, like somebody who comes out of a sitcom, hits it big, does the movies, and refuses to come back for like the finale of that show that gave them their start. I put all those kind of people in the same kind of category, and I don't like it.
You don't like rude people.
Yeah.
You don't like rude boys.
Rude people, unappreciative people, like, yeah. So that's just how I see it. And then, I mean, Harrison Ford is also that typical jerk character people seem to love, and I don't really understand that.
I feel like people...
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the movies in their entirety, so
Yeah.
I can't speak to that wholeheartedly. I could be totally wrong. I could, I'm not getting something, but
I think it's because people feel like he's earned it because he's played characters that have been very important to them in their childhood. Like, I mean, Han Solo, Indiana Jones. I mean, that's pretty much all you need. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like you'd have to like
the president.
Right, yeah, the president. I feel like a fugitive. I mean, I feel like if you give, like, that's honestly, this is going to sound sappy and dumb, but whatever. Harrison Ford gave us a gift. You know what I mean? Like, he gave us a gift. Like, I mean, his performances are fucking gift that he has given. Like, those personifying these characters is important. You know, it's important to a lot of people. I mean, it's like... so I feel like...
like John Travolta almost being Forrest Gump.
Nothing like that.
So it makes Tom Hanks' performance as a gift.
Did you not like Tom Hanks' performance in Forrest Gump?
No, I love it. I'm just saying, like, it could have been John Travolta.
I know. You shared that with us last
not
time.
Been a gift.
We know you're proud of this trivia.
It just blows my mind that was almost a thing.
Yeah.
That somebody thought, like, oh, no, that's Forrest Gump.
I mean, look, man. I mean, maybe he could have done it, right? You don't think so?
No.
Why not?
I mean, the closest he could have been was an even dumber version of Vinnie Barbarino from Welcome Back, Kotter.
Did you like him in Pulp Fiction?
I haven't seen all of Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think that's probably...
It came out the same year, so they could be, I mean...
I know they were...
It was one or the other.
Yeah. And that's why he didn't do it, because of Pulp Fiction?
Probably.
Yeah. I think Pulp Fiction's probably his best.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably his best. But I love Pulp Fiction, so that's probably
not Face
colored
Off
by that.
with Nick Cage.
No, nor Broken Arrow. Was he in Broken Arrow? I think he was in Broken Arrow, right?
Saturday Night Fever.
I've never seen that.
Neither have I.
I've never seen that. I haven't seen all of Grease.
Yeah, neither have I.
So, I mean, there we go. So you haven't seen any of his movies. So as far as you know, he would have been a great Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I guess so.
But Tom Hanks, it's impossible to not think of Forrest Gump as Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Or the other way. Tom Gump as Forrest Hanks.
Could Tom Hanks have been a good Vincent Vega?
No.
No?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Like, that is really weird to think about. Because Tom Hanks is like... Because Vincent Vega is like... The whole thing about Pulp Fiction is that you kind of fall in love with these people who are bad people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's like, that is like a huge part of it. Because it's like, they're these charming people who you should not like, but you do. They're doing horrible things, but it's like, they're charismatic, they're witty, they're funny. You know what I mean? And it's like, that's what's interesting about Pulp Fiction. That and, how the story is told narratively and stuff like that. But that's like the big thing. It's like, I can see Tom Hanks being charming, absolutely. But I think seeing like Tom Hanks murder a man, like, I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, can you come back from that? Like, has Tom Hanks ever murdered anybody in a movie?
He could have almost been Mario too. So
I know. I would have loved to have seen that, just because I think he would have made a great Mario, because I feel like everyone would have just been like, oh, Tom Hanks. I feel like he's that guy. He's that actor where everyone's just like, oh, Tom. He's so wholesome and adorable, you know? And I like Tom Hanks. I'm not trying to knock him. It's just like, no, man, I could not see him as Vincent Vega, like in a million years. Maybe in a Saturday Night Live parody.
No, Tom
Pulp
Hanks
Fiction.
and Keenan Thompson.
Yeah.
As the characters.
Oh,
in Pulp
dude, I would love that. That would be amazing. It would make a really different Pulp Fiction, but it would make an excellent Saturday Night Live skit. I'm on board.
Okay.
Do you want to take another call?
No.
Okay, that's it.
That one took a long time.
All right. That was a good call. It's a good question.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.
Still not Spotify.
On our website.
I checked the other day. I was like, are we on there? Nope, we're not.
Hey, if you want to call us, leave a voicemail, 270-883-2555. You want to send us a package? So we got some more intro material. You send that to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky, 42002.
Mm-hmm. You can find us on Twitter. We're at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. A big ups to everybody who retweets our episode announcements. That does really help. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search for Tadpog. You'll find us. We also have a super secret Facebook group called Tadpog Nation where all the good shit happens. Been a lot of Bowsette posts recently, which is just amazing. I love it. I fucking love that. Has like been my favorite.
But the peach boo though, I like that even better.
I don't know. It feels derivative to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, it does.
You're a Bowsette purist.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what's interesting about Bowsette is like you can go a lot of different ways with Bowsette. Like, but it's like
I know I've seen it.
Right, but it's like with Boo, it's just like it's all the same. Like it's just like petite Princess Peach, but she's pale. Like Bowsette is interesting because like you got some people like doing like wrestler style women. You know what I mean? And it's like I don't know. I think it's a lot more interesting.
Got some meat.
It really does. I mean, that's not something that you see in any of the Boo art that I've, you know what I mean?
That's
it's all
true.
been like big tittied, tiny, busty petite, pale peach. And there doesn't seem, you know what I mean? It's like, where's the creativity in that? You know, it's with Bowsette, there's creativity because there's just like people are taking it in like these really different directions. And it's kind of like, oh, well, I mean, she's still hot, but I mean, at least it's like you're trying to do something different. It's weird how big.
It's pornography. Explore the space.
You're right. It's just truly. And it's also we're like, I don't know, man. It's like with Boo, what are they calling her? The Princess Boo?
I cannot recall.
Whatever they're calling her. Like they're making her tits like really big. Like what
Those boo-boos.
is that? Like what quality of Boo would like make you think that it would like equate to the biggest breasts you could possibly imagine?
It's just big pillow-some ghosts.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
But the trick is you can't ever touch them. Your hand just goes through them.
Oh, it depends.
So they look so good, but you can never touch them.
Is that true, or does it depend on the way that they're facing?
In my head canon, that's the sad truth.
Yeah, missionary only. The doggy's right out because she disappears.
yeah. She can only come when she's looking at you.
Yeah, you know, like a Christian relationship.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got.
We do have a Patreon. You can just find us on Patreon. It's like patreon.com/tadpog. We owe you a bunch of shit. We owe you a bonus episode for September. We haven't delivered on that.
Yeah, I know. Work is just, I know we feel bad about it, but work has been awful. And now my air's out and everything. And my bathroom flooded. I don't even have a toilet in there now.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm living in the 1800s over here. It's crazy.
So yeah, I mean, there's that. I guess the TLDR on that is we're probably not going to do the board game this month like we had talked about doing. That we're probably going to do, we're just release an audio bonus episode because we talked about doing an all calls bonus episode. You still want to do that?
Yep.
Cool. And then maybe next month we can do the Garfield board game.
Okay. Let's see. Our theme song is Moves by Sycamore Drive. Leave that track from the showstyle.com. How you want to close this out, Dave?
Like a ghost with big titties.
Okay.
A big-titted ghost, if you will.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn. Yeah. I'm excited.
Bro, yeah. I hear him jiggling in your voice.
No, I was excited because I'm a ghost, you fucking pervert. Why'd your mind go to boobs?
Yeah, I'm sexist. I'm ghostist.
I'm a fucking ghost, man. I can watch people have sex without them knowing.
It's not perverted or anything.
Yeah, it's not about the boobs. It's about
it's about the power.
Yeah. Boobs are power, though.
Oh, I know.
Hey, we're sorry. We forgot something that was really important.
Yep.
Because it's really hot and I'm ready to like not be in this hot blanket room anymore.
Uh-huh.
So we kind of rushed to the end there a little bit. Plus I got on like my little soapbox and talked about how I'm mad at the Star Wars fandom right now.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of like took over my brain for a few minutes. But when we were talking about Patreon, I forgot that there are some people that we need to thank.
Damn right.
First of all, I'd like to thank Donald Trump's penis for looking like Toad, who is a new Patreon donor. Also, I'd like to thank God Emperor Alex Pena for upping his donation yet again.
Oh,
Still not sick of us.
Damn.
Still loving us and praising us with his
some reason.
with his hard-earned money. So Alex, dude, thank you.
God bless you, God Emperor. You bless you.
Yeah, Alex bless you. Also like to thank Josh. I'm going to mess up your last name. I'm really sorry. Josh.
We had a baby eats a boy.
Yeah, we oughta baby eats a boy for the new pledge. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the previous bonus episodes and the September bonus episode, which will be coming out sometime soon, I hope.
Yep.
I'm going to take a stab at your last name. I'll call you Josh K, but Josh Cornely. Cornely. I'm gonna pass it to you. You tell me how you think that's pronounced. You're better at names than I am.
Cornely.
Okay. So we both think it's the same. Cornely.
Or it could be, we could do like stereotypical Italian Cornelli.
Do you think it's Italian?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know the origin of this last name. Would you like the surname?
I don't know if they have K's in Italy. I don't know.
Yeah, they don't. They don't have K marks there. They just have marks. Would you like me to look up? I can look up the surname on the internet and see what its origin is.
Let's just wait for him to tell us how wrong we are.
Yeah. Let's wait for him to tell us that he was not.
Let's wait for him to withdraw his Patreon pledge.
Yeah. And also, he'll for sure let us know that never were any of the Saved by the Bell characters owned. None of them owned a radio station ever. Thanks, y'all. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember when I was in high school, if my girlfriend was like, I'm on birth control, I'd be like, fucking
yeah.
sweet.